Reflections of AudioFeed. Seeking the Heart of God, next on So What? Hi, I'm not.
Chris Dorman, and I'm not.
Don Waite.
Welcome back to So What? There were some... We want to talk just a little bit more about AudioFeed as we press on in our series, Seeking the Heart of God. First, we want to talk about some of the highlights of AudioFeed. What were some of your highlights?
You know what? The gospel being preached by chaotic resemblance so powerfully was awesome.
Witnessing parental petulance's very last show. Woo! Awesome!
You know, witnessing your first mosh pit, Chris.
Not true. Fake news. It's not true. Ignore that video. It's not true. It's not me. It's not me. Hearing the band Dire for the very first time.
All glory to the one true God. That was awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
All that time with Scott. Thank you, Scott. I sure miss you, brother.
Yeah. You know, and meeting so many people for the first time for me was awesome.
Danny, Sam, Aaron.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Wow. The guys in 13 minutes.
Oh, man. And the prayers that I saw them in prayer time with everybody afterward. It was awesome to see them reaching out to people and ministering.
Just some wonderful, wonderful highlights. You leave there with such a high, you know? But how many of you have had great experiences like that, and then you come back and things are kind of flat, and you kind of struggle, and maybe you're actually even a little depressed? I know I have been for the last 3 weeks. I've been honest with Don and a few others about how the last few weeks since AudioFeed I've been really struggling with depressions. The worst depressive episode I've had in probably 3 years. Why is that?
You know, it's hard, because we have these mountaintop experiences, Chris, as they call them, right?
Yeah.
Right? Whether there is going to an event like that, church camp, going to an awesome concert, massive vacation, whatever, re-entry can be brutal.
Re-entry into real life.
Right? I mean, you get back and you're just foisted right back into the mundane.
Right.
Right?
So often we have experiences like that, and we expect that we're going to be really radically, permanently transformed, like we were when we became Christians. Remember, harken back to the moment when you were converted, when you surrendered and you gave your life to Jesus Christ. Your life was permanently, radically, and forever changed. And when we attend a Bible conference or an audio feed or a great church camp or something, we expect, because we're so high and we feel so close to the Lord, and we think that, oh my gosh, I'm radically, permanently changed forever now, just like when I was saved. And then we hit real life again and we realize that's not true.
Right.
One of the things that we must embrace as we seek the heart of God, we must embrace the fact that change, sanctification, is an incremental process. It is a step-by-step, day-by-day process. And we can't expect that kind of experience like we had at our conversion to happen all the time in our Christian life. It just doesn't work that way.
But it's hard, Chris. We got to take a step back and kind of evaluate it. And I was thinking about this. Recently, I got to go to summer camp with my son, my youngest, and he was taking rock climbing. And when he was climbing this mountain, it was difficult. As a dad, I'm watching, and I'm like, I just want to see him get to the top.
Yeah.
Right? He's got to make it to the top, and then he's got to rappel back down or whatever. He's going to get himself back down. And it's so hard. It's like you're watching him get there. He gets to a place, and his face is right up against it. He's struggling to figure out where to put his hand or his foot next, and you're really not sure where to go, and you kind of make some progress, and maybe you come back down, and I got to rethink this and go back up, but ultimately, you can look down and see that you have made progress.
Yeah, he's not down at the bottom anymore.
Right.
He's 10 feet from the top. He's 50 feet in the air, 10 feet from the top. He's made progress.
Right, but it's hard when your face is right up against the rock. You don't see it. All you're seeing is all these problems and issues that you're trying to figure out, and you're like, I can't go anywhere. I'm stunted. Ugh, and all that. So it was kind of a cool picture of what life can be like.
And I've got to tell you, I've been wrestling with that, and how this. I want to be changed. I want to be changed now.
Right, exactly. Right.
And yet I don't, because I'm a sinner. I'm afraid what God's going to have to do to me, But that emotional connection that you had when you first become a Christian, that gratitude and that outpouring of love and humility and joy, you want that. You want that, and you want that kind of change every day. And it just. Life isn't like that. And if you want to draw near the heart of God, you must embrace the fact that change is slow. Yeah. Change is incremental. For those of you who are parents, okay, they say that parenthood goes really, really fast. At the time, it doesn't feel like it.
It does not feel like it.
When you're taking care of a baby and they're pooping in their diaper 8 or 9 times a day, Okay, and the very next day they're pooping in their diaper 8 or 9, 10 times a day, and the next day when they're doing it again and then again and again, it doesn't feel very quick.
Right.
Nothing feels very quick at all.
Right.
And yet when you're at my age, when you're an empty nester, and the last two have left the house, then you're like, wow, where did the time go?
Yeah. But you know, we're told in the scripture that the outer man is wasting away, the inner man is being made new day by day. Not one huge moment and it's all over, right. But it's day by day by day, right? You know, and so we're looking to arrive, but we're not promised that.
We're actually promised that we're not going to arrive. I mean, think of the Apostle Paul in Philippians, right? He says, not that I have already attained all this, or have already been made perfect, but I press on to take hold of that for which Christ Jesus took hold of me. Now, if the Apostle Paul can say, I'm not arrived, okay? I have not arrived, then you know what? I guess I should be a little easier on myself and not get so discouraged when I see how much further I have to go. That's okay. Our Christian life is a walk. It is a journey. And if we want to draw near the heart of Christ, we must embrace that reality. It is a journey. And while, as Don said, when you're climbing a mountain, climbing a rock, you might have to go sideways a couple of times to find the right path to get up. In life, you might have to take some steps back, some steps sideways to find the right way. That's part of the process. And just putting him in front of you and following his leading.
You know, part of it too, Chris, is that I think that because we get so caught up in just the grind of life, we don't really see it as the way the Lord would want us to see it. We separate the sacred from the secular, right?
Oh, boy.
Like our normal, everyday, grinded out life from church life and AudioFeed life and vacation life and all these things that are different.
But it doesn't feel as important.
Right.
When I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a 4 o'clock train to go to work, and I'm at work for 10 hours a day, and I come home and I'm taking out the garbage and doing chores around the house and doing errands and going grocery shopping, it doesn't feel very spiritual. Where I'm at AudioFeed and I'm meeting and interacting with you guys. We're teaching Bible studies. You know, we're in prayer with people. We're praising God through music. We're doing all these things, and it feels so important. It feels so much more important than the mundane of every day. Doesn't it? Have you experienced that? Are you? If you went to AudioFeed, are you experiencing that? This sacred secular distinction was done away with forever when Jesus Christ died. The veil was torn from top to bottom. There was now no more division. We don't need the Levites anymore to intercede between us and God. We have the right and the invitation. Remember our podcast, Rockstar Access? To go into the Holy of Holies, right? That is open to us every moment of every single day. And if we want to draw near the heart of Christ, we must see the beauty in the mundane. We must see that in everyday life, it can be sacred. You have an opportunity, as Bob said in one of his podcasts this week, to minister to people every day. When you're in line at Starbucks, when you're pumping gas, when you're stuck in traffic, you have or you're at work, you have an opportunity to share the gospel by your life, by your words, by the things you don't say, by your actions, by your attitudes.
And you can have a heart of worship, whatever you do. Look, brushing my teeth can be an act of worship to God. How? Because it's about my heart. It's about my perspective. It's about where I'm putting my heart and my vision, right? That's why Paul can say, whatever you do, whether you eat or you drink, do it all to the glory of God.
The most mundane things of all, eating and drinking, the things you got to do to live.
Right.
He could have had pooping and all of that, right? Parental petulance, right? Pooping, right? They could have eating and drinking and pooping, do it all for the glory of God. Everything, the most mundane things. And beloved, I don't know if I'm speaking to anybody but myself here, because I need to hear this message. I have to see the wonder in every day. If I want to draw near the heart of Christ, I've got to see the opportunity in every day. It's not about waiting for next year's AudioFeed. It's about getting up each morning with a heart of worship, a heart of gratitude. Lord, please use me today to advance your kingdom.
Right.
And trusting him.
Because the message of Ecclesiastes, I want you to hear this, the message of Ecclesiastes is not that life is meaningless. The real message is life is meaningless when we don't have God, when we don't have Christ at the center of it.
Right.
That's the real message. The message is that the mundane can be sacred and should be sacred because it's all for the glory of God.
That's right. But that's something we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to do that. We have to consciously be aware of this and seek to exalt him every single day, that we might draw near to the heart of God.
It's an incremental process, so Chris, it is.
Thank you for tuning in, my friends. And I'll talk to you next week.
See you soon.